We have a summer program that kids come up in the off season and they can train.
You just come and train on trampolines and then on the bag sometimes.
We were training on the trampolines, which we often do for freestyle skiing, and I was watching Will bounce on the trampoline.
Well, I felt really tired, I think, all of a sudden, so I said I needed to take a break, and I just got off the trampoline.
And I said, fine, take a break, and he sat down and didn't look well. Then Will collapsed.
When I got to the scene, everyone was assessing the situation.
I saw that he didn't have color in his face and checked for pulse. He didn't have a pulse, he wasn't breathing. That's when I knew we had to perform CPR.
When everything was happening, all of the training kind of just kicked in.
Yeah, I arrived on the scene and I noticed that some of my coaches and teachers were already administering CPR on Will.
Tim was giving him CPR and I rushed over and offered to help, and I started doing chest compressions.
I was amazed how calm and how professional everyone was dealing with the situation.
What was so neat was that everyone was pitching in. There were some young boys who had been in the camp who were cheering him on and saying, "Come back, Will, come back."
And we all had one goal, and that was to help Will survive.
I knew I had the CPR training in the fall with Jeff Dropkin, and we all stepped in to assist with the CPR and the chest compressions.
We were doing chest compressions and thought we were doing well, but then Will didn't look like he was improving. Looked like it was going downhill.
It was really dire at that point, though he was getting oxygen, and then Vivian said she had an AED.
Where Will collapsed just happened to be next to someone who had a medical kit with them that had an AED.
We administered one shock, and he started breathing right after one shock, and it was amazing to see him come back to having a pulse.
If it wasn't for Viv, who knows, the scene could have been a whole nother story.
Fortunately, thank God, he set up after the AED was administered.
It really looked like color came back into his face, and he started breathing.
We feel that the entire crew here at Waterville Valley, from the academy, the rescue team, the coaches, were heroes and were tremendously grateful for the work they did in helping to save Will's life.
Because we were CPR trained, we could attend to Will and help save his life.
I mean, when you're in CPR training, working on one of those mannequins, you never think, oh, this is, I'm going to use this. You never think that.
I feel totally responsible for the athletes when they're with me. Their parents trust me with their safety, and I always try to assess the risk. Their safety is my #1 concern.
I'm really honored to be recognized by the American Red Cross. I think it's a great organization that's touched and helps many lives, and their mission is definitely one of the most important missions of any organization in the world. So it's just a great honor that my team and personally myself is being honored.
Thank you to the crew here at Waterville Valley for all they did to help Will. He's doing great.
Really happy that everybody did their own part and helped out.
So happy that it turned out how it did, because you never know when it's happening, how it's going to turn out. But Will's been out there skiing with us, and it's so great to have him around.